Hi, I'm Selma. I am living in Tanzania together with my husband and our 3 children. My husband and I have our own safari company and we organize tailor-made holidays to Tanzania. And we have 3 kids of 8, 6 and 3 years old, and we have taken them to safari from the beginning and we're traveling a lot with them. So in this video I want to talk a bit more with you about traveling with kids to Tanzania and going on safari with them and all the tips and tricks. One of the most frequent asked questions is, what age should your kids be when they come on safari? I think this is a very personal question. It's just what you as parents prefer and how you like to travel. But from our point of view and from Tanzania, all kids of all ages are very welcome on safari. We can organize safaris for any age, so from baby to when the kids are older. And our own kids have been on safari from the beginning, so we always took them with us to the parks. They are very used to it. Our little Daniel, who is 3 years old now, went 4 times to Serengeti in his first year, so as a baby. Of course, this is personal, and it also depends a bit on your children. Are they easy travelers? Do they like to explore new things? Do they like round trips in a jeep, and do they not mind to sleep every maybe second or third night on a different location? I think if they are flexible and if they like to travel, you can bring them from a very young age. Maybe really baby age is not so suitable because of the long days in the car, but I think from an age of 1 year old it is very doable. A lot of people also prefer to wait till they're a bit older so that they can also actually remember the holiday. I think from my point of view, we always travel because we as a parents or as a family at that point love to visit that destination, in this case maybe Tanzania. Even if they don't remember, our little Daniel won't remember those 4 times Serengeti of his first year, but I do believe it formed him to what he is now, a little boy who loves nature, who loves safari, who loves traveling, who is very flexible, who can, you can take him anywhere and he will sort of adapt. So I think if you as parents are ready to take a holiday like this, your kids will follow and they will feel that as well. And I think from that point of view, any age is possible. So I also can really say that kids of 2, 3 year old, they love safari. It's like driving around in a big zoo the whole day, and it is really quality time with the parents as well, because you're together in that car, and there is not much Wi-Fi, only in the accommodations, so you really spend time together, and you can really feel that when kids are in nature, they become different human beings. I think also a lot of parents, they doubt if their kids can be for many days in a car, and if it's not too boring for them, or if the moms don't get, the parents don't have a lot of, the kids don't have a lot of energy, and that will disturb the parents. But I don't believe that. I see on our kids, who can also be very busy at home, but as soon as we're on safari, as soon as we're out there in nature, they are so relaxed, and it's sort of that nature comes all like on them, and it makes them calm, and it makes them really value life and the animals, and understand also how the circle of life works, which I think is very important, and they can do that from a very young age. Then, once you have decided that you will come to Tanzania with your children, you're going to book the flight. And of course, it's a long flight for most people. For those who come from Europe, it's actually not too bad. KLM flies daily to Kilimanjaro, the airport where you have to arrive when you start your safari. And from Amsterdam goes a daily flight, which is like 8.5 hours. So it's not too bad, actually. And the KLM plane has all these nice screens, private screens per seat, so your kids can easily be entertained, and it's a very comfortable flight. And the time difference is only 1 hour in summertime and 2 hours in wintertime, which for if you look at the Netherlands, so Amsterdam. So that is, it's amazing because you don't really have a jet lag. And this helps your kids and the parents a lot with settling in once you arrive in Tanzania. And of course, for American clients, it's different. So there you'll have a bit of you'll have a jet lag, which will be a bit difficult for the kids to adapt. But I guess Americans maybe are a bit more used to that anyway. So We are from Amsterdam, a daily flight away, which is a very easy access. And once you arrive in Tanzania, everything will be arranged by Makasa Safaris, and you will be picked up from the airport and you will go to your first location. Once your safari starts, you will be picked up by your guide, and you will have the same Makasa guide for the whole safari. So from the beginning of the safari till the end, you will be with the same guide, which is very nice. All our guides are very good with kids. Tanzanian in general actually are very good with children, so but the guides as well, and most of them have kids of their own as well, and they are very good with kids. They love to entertain your kids, and we often hear that when families come back from their travels that the kids really miss the guides and that they have really a strong friendship between them. So that is also very special to see, and I think very nice and good to know for you also as parents that together with the guide you really make that safari till a success. So that's very nice. And together with the guide, you're in the car and he drives you around for all the safari days. Of course, it is long days in the car. So for kids, we always recommend to bring some entertainment along. This can be anything. It can be maybe coloring books or a nice reading book, or maybe music with headphones, or for those who want to bring a screen, that is possible as well. There is no Wi-Fi during traveling, but of course you could download some nice movies or for your kids. We personally with the family have the rule that once we're in the national parks, we don't watch anything on the screens. Of course they can read a book, but not in the screens. Otherwise the whole safari day you have sort of that discussion if it's allowed or not to watch a movie. We think they should just look outside, and if not, then they can maybe read a book or color a bit. But on the long transfer days, like if you drive 3-4 hours in a row and there's not much to see on the road, then they can watch something. So that could be something, could be an idea. It's also very nice to bring your kids some safari related items. For example, kids binoculars. It's always nice, of course you have a pair of grown-up binoculars in the car as well, but it's nice if the kids, you know, those are often maybe they can, you want to be careful with them, or you don't want to give them to the smaller kids, younger kids, so you can buy them toy binoculars. We have for our little ones those, you can buy them for like €10 or something, and then they have the feeling that they can also participate in the safari. And when you look at the animal, of course they don't see as good as the real ones, but they don't care, they don't really notice it anyway, and they feel that they can participate in the safari and in the search for the animals. So that's a recommendation. Buy them a nice pair of binoculars for them to play with. They can hang it around their neck and they can feel that they're part of it. And as well, it would be nice maybe a wildlife book for kids, or like a bird book or animals, or but then really focused on children. So on their own level, they can also look for the animals or maybe tick off what they have seen already. The guides also often have games with them, like we're looking for this, or what has a big trunk and big teeth or something, and then you're gonna look for that or spot the animals. So with little games you can entertain them as well in the car. And along with that also, it would be nice if you have younger kids, or maybe even for the older kids, to bring some snacks from home. Of course your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner is included in the safari, and these are proper meals, so the kids won't really be hungry. But my experience is that kids often are a bit like between breakfast and lunch, they are used to eating something, maybe some fruit, or so when you're in the car it's easy if you have maybe some biscuits or some crisps or something which they really like from home, that you can give them a little snack once maybe they get a bit clingy or a bit bored. You can entertain them a bit with a little snack from home which they like. So that is good tips to bring along. Once you're still in the planning stage of planning a safari to Tanzania, then look for a tour operator who knows how to travel with kids. Not all tour operators are used to taking families, and safari with kids is a bit different than a normal safari, because you want to have accommodations which are suitable for kids, which have family rooms. Is also often a asked question. How do the kids sleep? Because often you sleep in the middle of like like a park or in the middle of wildlife, we never let the kids sleep alone. Actually, our rule is under 16 that the kids are with the parents. For people who are used to traveling in Europe or in hotels where you usually have maybe 2 rooms, a room for the parents and a room for the kids, this might be a bit interesting if the kids, for example, are 13 or 14. But on safari, it's a bit different because you cannot leave your tent or your room at night if it's like individual cottages. Because then you are in the middle of the park and there could be wildlife walking around. So you don't have to be scared for this, but it is something you have to consider, that you cannot, in the middle of the night, if your child gets scared or maybe sick or just needs mom or dad for a reason, they can't just leave the room. So that's why we always say below 16, you're with the parents on a room. All safari accommodations are also catered for this. So they have family rooms for families of 4, 5 or 6 people sometimes. And the operators who organize family safaris a lot, they know exactly which accommodations are suitable and comfortable for kids. So that is good to know when you're in the planning stage of a holiday. And also, like, for example, me, since I have kids, I view the safari planning for families different than before I had kids, because you just know, like, these little tricks and these little things to consider, which you don't really know when you don't have kids yet or when you have never traveled with kids on safari. Another tip for in the planning stage is plan always an itinerary which is not too rushed, so that you don't have to move every day to another place. When you still have young children, it's nice sometimes to have 2 or 3 nights at the same location, so you can actually also a bit unpack that suitcase or repack, or because if you have to move after every single night, then that gives also a lot of stress again for the kids, but also for the parents to like pack, transfer, explain the kids that you're sleeping in another accommodation again that evening. So you always try to plan the safari like that you have enough nights or more than 1 night at a location, and also that you have maybe a rest day in between, so that you can also have the kids maybe 1 day in between out of the car and do a walk or swim or do anything which you can do around that location, which of course we can advise. And although you want to bring everything for your children to make them feel comfortable, and of course I just gave a lot of tips which would be nice to bring from home, you also don't want to overpack. So try to pack lightly. Less is more, I always say, because you are moving from accommodation to accommodation. And if you're packing a lot of stuff for a family of 4 or 5, you have to drag that with you during that whole safari. So I always try to pack light. It is a bit difficult because of course you're not sure about the weather. Like safari, it is usually summer weather here in Tanzania, but in the safari can also in the mornings and evenings be colder. So you have to pack a bit with layers, but be creative. And also the kids, usually, at least me on a holiday, usually I wear always the same kind of comfortable clothes. So on safari you don't have to bring your newest evening dress because you're not going to wear it. So just pack comfortable clothes which you can mix and match, and then that is enough. In all accommodations you have like shampoo and shower gel and soaps, so you don't have to bring loads of those things. And of course for the kids you want to bring a bit of entertainment and enough clean clothes, but if you don't have enough you can always wash or do a small laundry for those items who got dirty and you want to use them again on safari. So don't pack too big. Also don't pack when you are with a family or 4 or 5, like 4 or 5 huge suitcases, because that won't fit in the safari car. So if you travel with a larger family, make sure that you pack in like backpacks or in these soft suitcases, or duffel bags they also call them, so that it can fit easily in the car, and try that the kids share, for example, 1 bag amongst each other. So of course, every family is different, and every child is different. So I think, it is very personal if you should do this holiday with your children. I think also as a parent, you know very well if you like this or not, and if you dream about a holiday to Africa, if you are always, if you always wanted to go on safari, don't wait too long. I would say don't wait till your kids are that perfect age, because what is the perfect age? You're always in a different stage of your family life, and I think as long as you are ready to go, you're ready to go. Your kids will love it anyway. It is an amazing holiday for children, and I think really it's amazing for kids to see different cultures, to see all the wildlife around here, and I can guarantee that your children will love it. And I can also guarantee that you won't say like, oh, this was way too much. I've never heard a family coming back saying, oh, this was not for us, or I wish we would have waited a few years. So I think you can really do it even with young kids. And if you're gonna think when is the right time, there's never a right time. So if you dream about a holiday like this, just do it. Write us an email, and we can help you setting it up. I can give you personal advice on your kids or on the ages of your kids, and I'm happy to get in touch with you. Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful, and we hope to see you and your family here in Tanzania. Bye. Greetings.